So, as you probably know, this is Amir Arison from The Blacklist, and that was a complete fluke how we met him. I was just snapping pictures, and my mum was like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that's in the TV show," and I was snapping, and apparently there was no post photography, and so then I just sort of stopped, and I was confused, and everyone was sort of telling me different things, and then he's beckoning us to come over, and that's how it happened. Yeah. So this was another fluke. I met Christian Nairn, who plays Hodor. I saw him when I was going into the Comic-Con to Yalc, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to get a photo with him? So as I was coming out on that day to go to get the taxi, I thought, why not? I'll go ask him for a photo. And he was really nice, and, well, yeah, I got a photo. Hello, welcome back to my channel. And you've probably seen my little photo montage before this. Why not show you the things I got and I got signed and I bought from Yalc? While I didn't have a lot of money, I did do some spending with the money I did have. Let's get started. I've got 3 whole bags, well 3.5, because they give you so many freebies there. So many freebies. And quite a few like tote bags, which were great, but then I had to carry them home. Well, I didn't have to carry them, my mum had to carry them. So the first thing I bought, which I bought on the last day just before I left Yalc, was this really cool t-shirt, can you see? And it's got Yalc written on it. I thought it was a very good memento because on the back it has all the authors that attended Yalc this year. There's the one thing at Comic-Con that really irked me. There was no Orphan Black, nothing. I asked at multiple stands, did they have t-shirts, Pop Funko figures? Even though I've got all the Pop Funko figures, I don't know why. But like I asked and they didn't have nothing, and I was like, come on. But next year, please have something to do with Orphan Black. The first signing. This is not in any order of when I went to it, it's just what I pull out the bag first. So this book, Beautiful Broken Things, I loved it. Sarah Barnard, and yeah, can you see? Online. And then 2 books I bought at YALC. I didn't buy many. I just sort of bought the ones that I've really wanted for a while. Because I found if you went to the publishing stand of the books, you got it a lot cheaper. Because they did have Warstones there, like a stand, but they were like full price books. And you could go to a stand and get like 3 paperbacks for £10. £5 a paperback on its own and £10 a hardback, which is amazingly cheap a book. So the first book I got is Angelful by Susan E. Susan E. I've seen it everywhere. Apparently it's very, very good. And then I bought Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. You know when you say your name so much better in your head, and then when it comes out, it actually sounds nothing like you planned it in your head. That happens a lot with me. Again, this is another book that I've heard that it's very, very good. I've been wanting to read it for a while. And the next signing I have is Ellie Weatherly's. Let me try and read it. Dear Sophie, lovely to meet you. Good luck with your interview, Ellie Weatherly. Yes, because I managed to tell everybody I had an interview, which I've been for. I didn't get in. Okay, I went for an interview for college for performing arts course. I didn't get in, partly because I don't have the qualifications for it. So they said get the qualifications or like a course equivalent, sort of like a level 2 or whatever, and then come back next year. So I mean, it could have been worse. They could have said no completely. So I mean, I was so proud of myself not to cry, because I really am a crier. I know it may not appear it, but I really cannot control my emotions at times, especially when people are complimenting me. I'm a bit like, oh, it makes me go like, oh, stop it, you're gonna make me blush. That's the next book. Very big book. Who's Happy? Happy reading. Malik. Forever. Ellie Weatherly. And also at the top in each book it says Yalc 2016. Get it right. So that's quite nice as well. So then you can always sort of remember when you went. And then Who's Happy? Lovely to meet you. Ellie Weatherly. Yalc 2016. My wristband was a Yalc weekend. You had to keep them on the whole time. So because I didn't go Saturday, I had to keep them on my wrist or put them somewhere safe. And I also had an extra help one, and my mum had a carer one because she was my carer. Here's another little gift I got. I actually got it in Comic-Con, so I did buy something in Comic-Con. I got a Lucy Fairytale keyring. Isn't that the cutest? I saw it and thought that is the cutest. One of the books from my next signing, Lisa Heathfield signing, who was absolutely loved. She was one of my personal highlights because I went to her workshop, which inadvertently I looked really awkward because I was the only one that didn't really have pen or paper, like making notes. I was just sort of there having a nice time. And then if you've read my blog post, you'll know about this, but one really weird thing happened. I was coming out of the workshop and I went over to Lisa Heathfield and said thank you, for the workshop, and she was like, I know you, I remember you tweeted about my book, Read. And I was like, yeah, I did. And I said my name's Sophie. And then I went over to her signing and I had Eid, and I also happened to have bought Paper Butterflies. And we had a really nice conversation. She is one of my favourite authors from YALC because she was just so lovely. We talked about our mutual interest in things like cults and stuff, which, you know, I find fascinating, and I know she finds it fascinating. And then we talked about our mutual dislike for the movies of the Hunger Games, like the books are better. And then I don't know what I was talking, oh, it's because I said I was trying to write a book on a cult, and I said, that's one of my multiple career options. And then I was sort of like listing them off, being like, I could be a singer, I could be an actress, Prime Minister. And so she written my book for Paper Butterflies. There we go. Dear Sophie, always remember you can fly with broken wings. And do you know what the really ironic thing is? On the way home from, like, as we were getting the lift down to get to the floor to get out of YALC, I ran into her in the lift. It was one of those moments of, I really hope you don't think I'm stalking you, because I'm not. We had a lovely little chat in there as well. It was really nice. On to the next bag. And the next bag is Oh, this is a freebie as well. Nice little Yalc bag that you got free because you bought the ticket. More personal favourites was this postcard set for the book 1 by Sarah Crossan, and it has lovely little quote on the book, which I think, because I have like a photo wall on my wardrobe, part of the wardrobe that faces my bed, I might stick some of these on there, which would be really cool. And then the even cooler thing, which I'm in love with, because Lani Taylor's new book, Strange the Dreamer. Even though I have not finished Daughter of Smoke and Bone series yet, I was so excited when I saw that sampler because I was like, yes, yes, I can't wait. I love Lani Taylor's writing. And then the YALC program, and then another sampler that I was very, very, very happy with is The Crooked Kingdoms by Leigh Bardugo. It's the second in the 6 of Crows, and also I happened to stumble across a signed bookplate. I don't know whether they were free, I just picked one up, so yeah, and the signed bookplate can go in my book because I do actually own 6 of Crows. Haven't read it, but I do own it. As I said, I got 2 books signed by Lisa Heathfield, and so I got Paper Butterflies and I also got Seed, and this is what she put in my Seed book. Dear Sophie, thank you for your lovely words about Seed. You'd make a great Prime Minister, because I said, oh, that's one of my career options. I could be a Prime Minister. I could be Prime Minister, you know. Future leader. Ex Lisa Heathfield. She is one of my highlights because she was just so lovely, and you just sort of think, oh, you're a really nice person, and you even remembered me because I tweeted that like a week or 2 ago, and she replied to it 5 days ago, so I was like, wow, you remember me, it's amazing. The next book that I got signed was 1 by Sarah Crossan, and it says, to Sophie, with lots of love, Sarah Crossan. We had a lovely little chat because we live near each other-ish. So yeah, I was like, I know where you live. That sounds totally creeperish. That's not meant to be creeperish. The one I got signed, and she actually said to me, oh, this is a really old edition of it. And I was like, I know. That shows how long I've been a fan of this book. Before I Die by Jenny Downham. This is for Sophie, with best wishes, Jenny Downham. And she's really nice as well. I mean, they were all really nice. And then the last book I bought at YALC. Yeah, I didn't buy that many. So the last book I got was Carrie Hope Fletcher's On the Other Side. Now, I've actually been watching Carrie's YouTube, and I really like it. I've just gotten into it. So when I heard she had a book out, I thought, why not? I'll give it a go sometime. But also, the great thing, this was £10, but it's signed. I know, I thought, wow, £10 for a hardback and it's signed. I was like, wow, this is cheap as chips, really. Whereas I know if I went to Waterstones to try and do that, it would be 20 quid. The last set of books that I got signed. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess? Because plainly obvious. Vendetta by Catherine Doyle. I went to her workshop. Her workshop was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I actually had my mum come and take notes this time around. I really enjoyed it. I found when she was talking about scenes in the book, like she talked about this one scene from Pocahontas which inspired a scene in the book. And as she was describing the scene from the book that was inspired by it, I was sort of like, and like what it meant. I was like, I know that scene. I know that scene. I was just like, I know what she's talking about. Whereas sometimes everything just goes over my head. And then it was the signing. Yeah, I got this signed. And I got this signed. And I got this signed. I know. And the terrible thing was my phone ran out of storage. So I had to take it on the camera that my mum bought with her. Which didn't turn out very well. Sophie, thank you so much for your wonderful support. Catherine Doyle. We just want to say, no, thank you, Catherine. Thank you for your amazing books. Just please don't kill them off at the end. That's all I have to ask. And then it says, Sophie, it's so lovely meeting you, Catherine Doyle. It's great because I can actually read her writing. A lot of the books I actually could. I could read Lisa Heathfield's, but a lot of their writing I couldn't actually understand. So I was like, how to make it out? And then it says, Sophie, all my love and best wishes, Catherine Doyle. And I was like, oh, thank you, Catherine Doyle. You don't know how long I've waited for this. Because she also mentioned herself how she doesn't come over to England all that much. So it's sort of like, these are kind of special, if that makes sense. Not special, but like, it's the one chance to sort of meet people like this. And then funny thing happened. So we took the picture, had a little chat, and I did say, please don't kill them off. And then she was like, la, 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 la. Like, can't tell anything. And she said, I'll keep continuing with your videos, so this is for you, Catherine Doyle, and yes, there will be a mafioso one. So we went downstairs because my brother wanted a comic book, a certain type of comic book, I'm not too sure. So my mum we went downstairs to have a look. She decided, oh no, we'll just get them off Amazon because he wants a certain type and he could be there forever trying to find them. And we still had like an hour or we had to go to get the taxi. So I said, oh, I've deleted all this off my phone now. Let's go get another picture with her. So we went upstairs because I thought, oh yeah, she's signing till 12:30, you know, that'll be alright. So then she wasn't at her table. I was like, oh God, no, I'm gonna have to be stuck with a dodgy photo. But my mum caught her walking in front of us. So we literally followed her to the chicken house stand. And then I had to be like, Catherine Doyle, can I have another photo? And I did say to her, look, I'm not stalking you, I promise. This is my one opportunity until you, because you probably go back to Ireland and won't have another chance for quite a while. I'm going to make the most of this opportunity. So we did. They look a bit steamy, but they are clear, I promise. Like, I've only waited ages for that. It was so good. And she was really nice as well. She was really nice. I mean, she could have been like, you're such a weirdo, you're such a stalker. And I'm like, and she remembered me and I was like, oh. You know, you just sort of think, these are the people I look up to. I look up to their work because I just love their books and they're so good, and if I could be half the writer they are, I'd be thrilled. And when you make videos, not necessarily for them to watch, but sort of for people to see you love the book so much, to get that recognition from the person that created it is quite a baffling but good feeling, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's just very weird that two authors remembered me and I was like, oh, thank you. You don't know what this means to me. But yeah, that was my Yalc haul, I guess. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the montage video that came before this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions about Yalc? Like, if you have any questions about access-wise, I'm happy to answer them if you leave a comment or whatever, because I did rent a wheelchair, an electric wheelchair, the first day. Well, I have it now. I still have it now. I rented it for 2 weeks. I used it the first day, but I actually used my manual on the Sunday because trains in my part of the country are not always reliable on ramps and things like that. So we thought, rather than take a risk, so we took my manual wheelchair because we can just bonk that off. We can just wheel it off. It's just easy. We don't need a ramp or anything. We've sort of mastered the art of getting it on and off a train now. Whereas with a electric, it's much harder because you can't just lift it on and off. But also, I can tell you about the extra help passes. I didn't really use mine, partly because me and my mum, we're adverse to sort of being like, let's jump to the front. Obviously, if we'd queued maybe in Comic-Con, because I know them queues are much larger, we would have been a bit like, well, we can't queue this long, do you know what I mean? But I didn't want to do it really in Yalc because the queues weren't that long that we went for each author. I mean, the queues for Patrick Ness and Michael Grant were massive. I mean, obviously I didn't go for them, so the queues weren't that long. And also we were sort of under the impression of, can you imagine how miffed off these people would be if I suddenly jumped to the front and was like, yeah, me first, because I have this wristband. I mean, I know it's not for that, it's like because like you can't queue, but you just sort of feel a bit like, guilty because all these people have stood queuing, but rightfully for their place, and you just swan in and be like, hi, me first. Again, because the queues weren't really that long. I hope you enjoyed this video. Also, I mentioned about my interview. It was, obviously I'm a little upset because I didn't get on the course I wanted, but we do have I have options, just put it that way. I can see why they wouldn't want me to go on the course straight away, because I could drown, be swamped by all the work, and because it is such a high level course that maybe it'd be best to start off with a lower down, not like the lowest course, but like you're ready to join it, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But I'm glad I didn't tell anyone for that very reason. Have to go and tell everyone now. I've been like, I didn't get it. It's a bit like, even though I sort of knew I wouldn't get it because I was at such a disadvantage anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I look forward to next year now, but I probably won't go Saturday again. Thank you for watching.